What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, June 9th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. We are running hot, baby. We are running hot. God damn. 8-1 across all sports yesterday. 3-0 in NBA, which is rare. Moving in the right direction, very quietly. And I know it's been a rough season, but very quietly, we have hit 9 of our last 10 in NBA with just one player prop in there, that LeBron James under 46.5 in game 5 of that series against the Suns. Trying to stay away from player props. We also, NHL's been getting me right in the old brown eye. We won last night, Mr. Gogster leading by example. We were with them on that Tampa Bay Carolina first period under. But the main thing is 4-1 in MLB. I talked myself into the White Sox first 5. I was originally on the White Sox full game -1. Would have been a 5-0 day. We're 23-3. 23-3, up 20.55 units in our last 26 MLB bets. And those 3 losses are by taint hairs, by the tiniest, by one pitch, by bottom of the 9th, bottom of the 5th type shit. Like, whatever. I mean, bounces are going to go your way. They're not going to go your way. But we could easily be sitting here 26-0. Now, Colorado lost last night in disturbing fashion. And the Knights are a hell of a hockey team. And looks like I'll be shaving on Thursday, it looks like. And my future bet will go out the window. But let's go back to the positivity. Matt Randall, taint play of the day. He's back in business. He's been back for 3 shows. He's 3-0 since he's come back. And he's 24-14, 63.2% clip. All right. So Matt Randall's rolling. But here is the big news. Starting next Tuesday, June 15th, and every Tuesday moving forward, Loshak and the Bag will be back after, what's it been? 2 years? Over 2 years? I'll have to find out. Starting next Tuesday and every Tuesday here at Pub Sports Radio, Loshak, the legend, coming out of retirement. So Loshak and the Bag every Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'll be back just to Betting with the Bag. But every Tuesday, Loshak and the Bag. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Big day ahead of us. Afternoon baseball, a lot of glory. Let's go over and say what up to everybody. See everybody's looks and get right into business. JA on the A's, Giants, Dodgers, Rays, all run line. Marlins, money line. White Sox first 5 under. I had a pretty tough time with, again, we're just working with Bet365. Solely is reared its ugly head. I wanted the Tigers. I wanted Casey Mize. And we're going to get way into that game. I wanted them. They were -120 full game. They used some big pieces of their bullpen last night, and Fulmer's on the IL. And I just had this nightmare, this recurring nightmare that I would have the Tigers, they'd be winning, and then the bullpen would screw me. So I was waiting for the first 5. Finally comes out at 9:30 this morning, and it's -150. So I go immediately to check out the first 5 run line, and it's not available. So I'm like, okay, well, I've made one bet. I'm on the Padres. Let's get that first 5 -1. Darvish versus Arrieta. That's unavailable. So I've only made one move. But good-looking card from JA. There's Christopher Gargaro in the house coming off a 3-1 night as well. Fap win in the house. Seattle money line today. Wow. See, it's the Tigers bullpen. But I love Casey Mize. And we're going to deep dive into that because let me give you a hint. There is taint involved in that game. But flexing on the road, hard to believe. And there's Viper in the house. My man Zoe ready to get to work. There's Razor, sharp picks, going for 8 straight winning days. And don't forget, tonight, Razor Sharp's horse racing show, which I hope to jump on near the end of after I get the kids down. There's Hustle Wilson in the house doing just that hustling. There's Sharpie. Says, got to tread lightly on these pitchers. All on top list of rotation fastball. Odorizzi, Anderson, Walker, Cole, and Gomber all make the list today. MLB cracking down. And I loved the segment from Jose yesterday. I thought that was really illuminating and exciting. And, of course, Jose with a casher on Glass Now Over. We were all cashing. There's Dennis Trusty in the house. Says, regarding Indiana Grand Race 9, Chris Hardman has won 6 in a row, 7 out of his last 9, and he has 1 horse today at Indiana Grand at 4-1. Whew. Trusty, that's a thing of beauty, buddy. Trusty. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is how we work together to defeat the Jews. This is all about the teamwork I'm talking about. Don't have anybody up here asking for selling you anything. What we have is guys working together to defeat the Jews. I love it. Trusty, I've copied and pasted that very, very nice information. JT ready to go. Willie, Vegas, North Ender, I still owe you $20. It's eating at me. I need some information to be able to send it to you. Picasso the Prophet in the house. Hunter Engelhart, what a call last night on that White Sox first 5 under 4 at even money. Beautiful, beautiful call, Hunter. Ron Lofton in the house. Nate Dogg 420. We got Tony Cobbs ready to go. All right, I love it. Tony Hill, Brian Watson, Walla Walla Dose, Puzzler, Christopher Gargara. I already shouted him out. There's Slats, 45, 3-1 in MLB last night, including Avs first period, plus half with 8.8 seconds on the clock. That was wild because I came so close to taking the Avs first period. So close. And I was very close to taking that the under in the game in the first period, under 1.5. I just ended up staying off and just hating myself because of that. On Isles plus 115, I can't wait to talk about that game because it just feels like we all remember when the Boston Bruins were a struggling outfit. I mean, they were set up to come fourth in that division. Remember, there was a time when I thought, could the Rangers catch them for that 4th spot, get in the playoffs, knock the Bruins out? It was because they had a defensive core that was decimated with injuries. Well, guess what, everyone? They have a defensive core that's decimated with injuries once again. So we'll talk all about that. All right, it's time to get to work. Dad Fence's Avalanche killed me last night. That was tough. That was very, very, very tough to watch. It hurt. I'm happy that the overtime got off. I was tired, but I couldn't possibly sleep with that game going on. So when it ended early, I was infuriated, but at least I didn't have to. At least that didn't happen in triple overtime. All right, there is Dan Lynch said Phillies cost me a 6-gamer. He says, do I have a team like that? I don't have a team like that, but I have pitchers who get me right in the old drink spot. B-Lab said grab Clippers at plus 2.5 when they were at plus 3 because I wanted that even money humbling experience. I get it. All right, Taint is in. And I gave you a little hint about Taint. We have Taint in, and we are going to talk all about that spot. It's Detroit, Seattle, first 5 under, and what a call by Matty last night. I should have just immediately we're talking about the pitchers that gets you. My team Perez gets me, and I just had to stay off. Rick the Ruler talking about Manoah. I'm hesitant to back him. There's Richie Rich, Rocky Meniketti. I've had the pleasure of hanging out with Rocky in Vegas. All right, and North Ender says Taint is on fire. It is on fire. There's Tyrone Coleman. We haven't seen enough Tyrone. Juan Ruiz ready to go. Okay, there's Clint started the Die Hard MMA podcast. I think they do. And here we go. Okay, we have it all coming in today. It's all coming to us right now. There's the Dirty K prop of the day. We have action coming in fast and furious. All right, so and Hunter says, look at the Rays against lefty. Corbin going to have a back to right start. All the situational stats that matter point towards that, TJ. A lot of work. See, I love this. It's a little, okay, let me just, get the Dirty K prop locked in here. I'm going to pop that right over. So we have both the Dirty K prop and the Taint play of the day on the same game. And I find that game absolutely fascinating. And if I could go back in time, do I take the Tigers at minus 120 full game? I don't know. I could still take them first 7. That's available in my book, minus a half at minus 120. Okay, so let's get that up there. So, and then we have the taint is first 5 under 5. I can't wait to talk about that game. Okay. North Ender said, did anyone grab that Vegas at plus 1075 live in the second intermission? Oh, what a great stuff. What great stuff. Slat says, wow, Dirty K and Taint in the same game. Who knew Mariners and Tigers would get me excited? Yeah, I love Casey Mize. I love it. I absolutely love him. There's Virl video ready to go. Christopher Carter saying, oh, Loshak is back on Tuesdays. Heck yeah. Every Tuesday. Picasso, you're a good man. You are a good man. Okay, let's get to work right now. And let's hammer away. Big shout out to Jose on the 1s and 2s, putting incredible graphics together. He's just a producer I'm so thankful to be working with. And big shout out to him hitting with the Glass Now prop last night. All right, let's get in. Stan Lynch hit the Vegas Avs OT, 21 overtimes in the NHL playoffs already. Spectacular work. I just clearly been leaving money on the table, staying away from that. Quick review of yesterday. Atlanta, Philadelphia, over 8.5 cashed. Orioles first 5 at plus 100 cashed. A's minus 1.5 at minus 105 cash. White Sox first 5 minus a half was a loser. I talked myself into the first 5 instead of the full game. That was a mistake. I talked about the White Sox bullpen being stronger than the Jays bullpen right now. And, it is what it is. Angels first 5 minus a half was sort of a market-related move. The market was telling us that Bubic was going to get touched, that Heaney was going to have a nice start, that the Angels were going to cash. And, man, that was easy. So let's get to work. Leroy Flood says, great night last night. Beautiful. Look at that, Leroy. Leroy had White Sox run line, A's run line, Dodgers run line, Astros money line, Yankees money line, Mets, Orioles first 5 over. I love it. Okay. Let's get to work right now. Christopher Carter says, is Porter out tonight? I hear he's going to play. I hear he's going to try to make it through it, but it's certainly an issue. And it feels like the Suns have a spot, and I probably should have moved on them already. Time to get to work. We start at 2:05 p.m. Eastern. San Francisco Giants, 38-22, 20-13 on the road at the Texas Rangers, 23-39, 14-16 at home at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Again, the Rangers Globe Life Field roof and the Marlins roof, I'm having a real tough time getting the information on whether it's going to be open for our morning shows, and it's extremely frustrating. If there was a spot for it to be open, it would be today. It's only 83 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy. There's 11 miles per hour out to left, but it's crucial. It's so difficult making any kind of prediction on the total when we don't know if that roof is going to be open. We have Sam Long making his MLB debut, drafted in the 18th round out of Sacramento State. And I don't have it listed, but I believe it was 2016. Sam Long, between AA Richmond and AAA Sacramento this season, he's had 6 appearances, 5 starts. He went 0-1 with a 1.99 ERA. Listen to these numbers: 0.79 WHIP, 37 Ks in 22 2/3 with 5 walks and 0 home runs. And the Rangers don't hit lefties. 239, 672 OPS. Kyle Gibson's been lights out. 4-0, 2.06 ERA, 1.01 WHIP. Imagine if he didn't get destroyed in that first start of the year. I mean, he only made it through a third of an inning. If he didn't get destroyed in that first start of the year, he'd have Cy Young type numbers. And we have the Bulldog on the mound, Lance Lynn, going up against another, highly thought of prospect in Manoah. And Lance Lynn's putting up Cy Young type numbers. Gibson, in his last start, went 5 1/3, 5 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, 5 Ks, and a 5-4 win at home over the Rays. That's one of my 3 losses over my last 26 MLB bets. I was on the under 8. It was 5-2 with 2 out in the top of the 9th, and the Rays hit a 2-run single, and I lost that bet. Giants versus righties, 232, 737 OPS. Rangers versus lefties, as I said, 239, 672 OPS. Giants bullpen's getting better and better. 3.63 ERA, 1.18 WHIP. They've converted 23 of 36 save opportunities. Notice we were talking about the crazy amount of save opportunities the Giants had in the early portions of the year. That's slowing down. Rangers bullpen 4.53 ERA, 1.4 WHIP, have converted 13 of 22 save opportunities. Richie Rich said it's hot as fuck here in Texas. So maybe it's too humid. Maybe the roof will be closed. And Martial Arts Fan says, let's go Giants. And Hunter Engelhart says 94% humidity out there today. Stanley says Texas has lost 13 straight interleague games. And Slatsy talking about the big game tomorrow night, which I assume I will get to shave this beard because of. Bleds W in the house. Great to see you. And BetOnline has Little starting. You're right. I did see that Little was starting just like a few minutes ago. Why didn't I notice? So that would be telling me that Sam Long will be the primary? Because Long's making his debut today. Unless something happened in the last, I don't know, while he was. Yeah, Sam Long is the primary. Okay, so Little will be starting an inning, and then Sam Long will be coming in. Okay, so Life of On Polo says, I'm on the Giants. Interesting. Okay, so let's get to work here. Let's start with the market and see what we are dealing with. Actually, why don't we go to baseball data? That would be a wiser starting spot. Here we go. So Gibson, they're hitting 167 with a 564 OPS against Kyle Gibson. So let's move over to the market here. We have, let's go to MLB, just money lines and totals. And I'm going to have to speed up. Okay. Here we go. For the Giants, we have the 8.5 going down to 8. That makes a ton of sense to me. Gibson opening up as a minus 110 favorite. It is now minus 107. So there's been a 3-cent move at Pinnacle over towards the San Francisco Giants. So let's see what's happened with this first 5. Has that moved as well? We have a first 5 here at 4.5. That's moved to 4. So both moves I've missed. Both moves I have missed, and I'm not going to reach. That's disappointing. You know, you have to talk these things. I feel like I need to talk these things out, have a better grasp of what's going on. And clearly the under 4.5 and probably the under 8.5 is the play. Hunter says still loves it at 4. Puzzler took the first 5 under 4. There's C. James in the house. Thank you for joining us. And that's my rule. Look, I get it. If you guys have a lot of faith in a bet, I don't do it. I don't do it. You have to be penalized for not getting on a market when the time is right. And that's the problem with MLB. 162 game season. The markets are so tight. There's so much statistics to analyze that you got to be early to the party. And if you're late to the party, as our man Guillermo Zertucci has said before, you might be on time for the funeral. Okay, Turnsy's on the Bruins tonight. Turnsy, I can't wait to break that game down. Let's move on. Oh, Turnsy, how are you? Turnsy got in a car accident yesterday and bumped his head. Turnsy, we need an update on how you are doing, man. Says thanks for all the love, everyone. Turnsy, little update. We need a little update. Okay, I agree with you guys. Hunter Engelhart says I'd rather have it at 4 with even odds than 4.5 with vig. All my plays are even money or better. Hey, I hear that, Hunter. I hear that. I'd rather have the 4 as a push, but he makes a great call, and he's a winning MLB capper. And if you look at my record right now, it's frustrating. Where is it here? It's frustrating because I'm hitting at over 54%. I'm 141 and 117, and I'm only up 7.69 units with ROI plus 2.98% because the VIG's so high. Okay, Jordan Weiner says 56% of the tickets, 50% of the money on Texas. Let's go to Sports Insights and go over that right now. What do we have here? So I have different numbers here with 2,975 tickets counted. I have 62% of the tickets on the Giants and 58% of the cash. What did Jordan Wiener said? 56% of the tickets, 50% of the money. No, so I'm not sure what site you're using. The free sites really I don't want to say can't be trusted, but I don't know if you can. And the reason why Sports Insights is expensive is because they're supposed to be the standard. Here we have 72% of the tickets on the over, 76% of the cash on the over, and then moving to the under. So the market move towards the Giants makes sense. And obviously the under is a very, very interesting bet with the tickets and the money on the over. Okay, so let's get what's Transy saying. I need a quick. Turnsy's on the Bruins tonight. Okay, we need an update from Turnsy. Let me know when it pops in. Okay, we're going to move on. Rocky saying Giants hitting the long ball. Clearly, the under would be a bet, but I'm not going to miss it. There's Raymond Reichart in the house. Great to see you, Raymond Reichart. Okay, we move on to 3:37 p.m. Eastern. Arizona Diamondbacks 20-42, 9-26 on the road at the Oakland Athletics, 36-26, 18-17 at home. Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California, 60 Fahrenheit clear, 13 miles per hour out to straight away center. And in the Bay Area, we don't put too much onus on the heavy winds blowing out. It's a tough ballpark to hit home runs in, both of them. And Oakland, 13 mile per hour straight to way center is not like, if that was at Wrigley, it'd be such a huge deal. All right, we have Matt Peacock going up against Sean Manaea. Let's start with the market here. We have Peacock versus Manaea. We have the first 5 sitting at 4.5. There's been a slight move towards a 1 cent move towards the under. And Manaea and the A's as big favorites. We cashed on them very easily yesterday with Bassett at home. And the Oakland A's opening up at -201. They're now at -214. So a 13-cent move towards the A's and a 7-cent move towards the under. P-Dog says Oakland, no brainer. Oakland, no brainer. Let's move over to – actually, why don't we – before we go to the baseball data, let's break this down. Peacock 2-2, 4.68 ERA, 1.19 WHIP, 32 2/3, 23 Ks, 7 walks, 6 home runs. In his last start, he went 4 2/3. He allowed 5 hits, 4 runs. 3 of them are in 1 home run, 4 walks, 2 Ks, and a 5-1 loss at the Brewers. Manaea 4-2, 3.36 ERA, 1.23 WHIP, 69 2/3, 70 Ks, 16 walks, 7 homers. And I do not think that betting against the Diamondbacks when there's a lefty on the mound is going to be a profitable situation. I think it's a very dangerous situation. First off, the Diamondbacks get very little respect in the marketplace, and they smash lefties. You can't take a first 5. You have to focus on a full game because you have to assault the Diamondbacks bullpen. That's 4.66 ERA, 1.45 WHIP. That's actually looked a little better of late. Manaea is coming off a complete game, 6-0 win at the Mariners. The Mariners don't hit lefties. Now he comes home to face a team that's hitting .255 with a .791 OPS versus lefties. A's are only hitting .226, .706 OPS versus righties, and the A's bullpen is looking very good. Eric Jones says like the over. Stan Lynch on Oakland -1.5. Arizona 3-12 versus left-handed starters. And let's now look at baseball data. Pitcher versus batter. Peacock has only been seen by Piscotty. And Manaea, they're hitting .386 with a .991 OPS. Look, I get it. The A's are the better team. Manaea is a better pitcher than Peacock. But do you want this big of a favorite against a team that smashes lefties and smashes Manaea? I'm not sitting here saying take the Diamondbacks first 5, but it would be Diamondbacks or nothing for me first 5. If there was a bet for me to make, it would be Diamondbacks or nothing. Do I want to fade Manaea, after he's thrown a complete game and he's feeling good about himself? Wow, Johnny K, I like hearing that. Stan Lynch says Arizona lost 18 in a row on the road is glaring. They're 9-26 on the road right now. Viper says Diamondbacks team total over might be a look. And Hunter Engelhardt says no real areas to capitalize on this one. So let's go over to the market quickly. Just for those of you who are making moves here, you have – where is it? We have there we go. We have 80% of the tickets on Mania, 71% of the cash. And then here is the red flag for the total. You have 63% of the tickets on the over and just 16% of the cash. Now, that's with just 3,543 tickets, but that's telling me it won't be an offensive game, and I am not moving on this spot. Let's move on to a game I want to move on. That's the Chicago Cubs at San Diego Padres. I moved full game, but that's not exactly how I wanted to handle this spot. I really wanted to fade Arrieta first 5, and I wanted to take him on the -1 line, but it wasn't available for me, and it's still not available for me. Unbelievable. Now, what dicks? Now, I could take the Padres on the 4.5 inning line, take a -0.5, a -115 on 4.5 innings, so not getting the bottom of the 5th. That's something that Bet365 offers. Extremely frustrating. Petco Park, San Diego, California. The Cubs are playing good ball, 34-27, but that good ball is mainly being played at Wrigley. And one thing that we haven't been doing is talking about what happened yesterday. We're going to keep that going. But we can talk about the Cubs 13-17 on the road. Padres 37-26, 21-13 at home. Remember, look, who do you look up to in life? I look up to professional gamblers who are paying their rent and have a family and paying their mortgage and looking after them, and their kids are in university because of their gambling. And that's gas station sushi. And when he says there's no momentum in baseball, when gas station says something, you listen. And as soon as we started doing that no momentum in baseball, don't talk about yesterday, every single day it's its own entity, our ROI skyrocketed. Jake Arrieta, 5-6, 5.26 ERA, 1.49 WHIP, 53 innings, 42 Ks, 22 walks, 11 home runs. That's exactly what we said was going to happen to him. He got off to that good start back in Chicago, and we were like, we see through this bullshit. Last start, he got destroyed. We were on that first 5 over. It happened in 2 innings. 2 innings, 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, 1 cane, and 8-5 loss at the Giants. Yu Darvish, 6-1, 2.25 ERA, 0.93 WHIP, 72 innings, 84 Ks, 17 walks, 7 home runs. Where is the I'm a little concerned spot in this game? Well, you can say the Cubbies no Darvish. That's the only spot because, and I went over pitcher versus batter, and we'll do that. But that's the only concern is that, look, Darvish used to play for the Cubs. Richie Rich says, Cubs not good on West Coast. Hunter Engelhardt says, yep, exactly, Jimmy. Any day, worst team in the league could smash the best team. And Sharpie says, we have Darvish versus old team. Cubs K percentage is top 10 versus right-handed pitching, and they have a small sample size versus Darvish. I like the over 6.5 Ks, but it's juiced to -160. So can't give it out as a dirty K, but I'm on it. All right. Yes, North Ender, I agree. I was hoping to use some of that Avalanche cash to do that. Because, again, I got a pretty nice situation, on a credit basis. And it allows me to make big bets when I probably shouldn't be making them. But let's keep going. There's Nasty Nate in the house. Nasty Nate starting this Tuesday, June 15th. And every Tuesday moving forward here at Pub Sports Radio, Low Shack in the bag is back every Tuesday. All right, Cubs versus righties, 237.09 OPS. It's versus lefties that they smash. Padres versus righties, 236, 704 OPS. They have surprisingly little power so far this year versus righties. Cubs bullpen, 2.75 ERA, 1.22 WHIP, converted 17 of 23 save opportunities. Padres bullpen has the best numbers in the league, ERA and WHIP-wise. They don't actually have the best WHIP, but combined, they have the best numbers. And they've only converted 22 of 32 save opportunities. Gives you an idea how hard it is to nail down a game. There's Breeds Beats. Oh, Breeds Beats. Oh, God, that hurts. It was very tough for me to watch as well. Okay, so we're going to go to baseball data first, and our guy Breeds Beats, man, OG low bagger. Cubbies against Darvish, 238, 680 OPS, 10 for 42, but you can imagine that they've seen him a lot over the last few years when they played together. Against Arrieta, the Padres are hitting 356, 1.053 OPS. So what do? I wait. Yes, Naeem, Low Shack in the Bag every Tuesday right here on Pub Sports Radio. Big shout out to our leader, Jeff Slaughter, for making sure that got hooked up. Oh, much love, Turnsy. Thank you. Thank you for giving us the updates, man. We love you so much, buddy. We need you. Need you to get to be tip top. Okay, I'm looking for it. I don't. Oh, there it is. Thank you. I'm good, guys. Have whiplash and sore as hell. My wife dragged my ass to hospital because of my past concussions hockey. I'm glad that you're feeling better. There's my guy, Dutch Boy Fresh, in the house. Okay, so, and by the way, Dutch Boy Fresh is killing it every day, 4 p.m. Eastern, right here on Pub Sports Radio, the NBA Pub Hub, every day, 7 days a week, 4 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so TJ says there's always a narrative about a pitcher pitching against a past team. I would love to know what some actual numbers. The thought is the previous team knows them, but does that play out? Good question. There's Anthony Witherspoon, Booker over 26.5, Suns win, and over 22.5 plus 230 play today. I like it, Anthony. I like it. Okay, so Cubbies, Padres. Let's just look where the money is moved. And where do we have it here? Here we go. We have 9. That's the spread. Okay, 76% of the money line tickets on the Padres, 94% of the cash. Interesting here, 46% of the tickets are on the over, and 76% of the cash is on the over, and that's with just under 4,000 tickets in. Dad fan says, love my O's are winning some games, but great value on the Mets at minus 125. Harvey's terrible right now. Got rocked by the Mets. Over looks good here too. Dad fan, watching the market move towards the Orioles has made me very uncomfortable there. So I got the Padres minus 1.5 at plus 100. If I wanted that right now, it would be minus 105. That was the only thing I could attack because Bet365 was not offering me that first 5 minus a half. And I think Arrieta is going to get touched. So another thing we could do, because we've been talking about this total, is to see what's happened with this total in this game here quickly. This total opened up at 8.5 and is down to 7.5. 7.5. So the market obviously thinking that Arrieta is going to have a good start. So let's just quickly see what the team total is for the Padres. We're sitting at a team total at 4.5, juice to the under. Very, very, very strange. And Jeff Joseph says, making a rare bet for me on the playoffs tonight, all over Islanders tonight. I love it, Jeff, my man. There's Ron Crawford in the house. Yes, Ron Crawford, this Tuesday. Starting this Tuesday and every Tuesday. Low Shack in the Bag, back in action. Okay, so that's my only bet right now on the whole day. And hopefully we'll add some more and find some more looks. But right now I'm Padres minus 1.5 at plus 100. I find it extremely interesting that this has gone down to 7.5. I find it interesting that the market expects a bounce back performance from Arrieta when he showed no signs of that. We move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Atlanta Braves 29-29, 12-12 on the road at the Philadelphia Phillies. 28-31, 17-12 at home. Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Just make sure I got this all good here. Okay, we're money. And rain in the forecast. 82 Fahrenheit rain, 5 miles per hour, sideways out to right. We have Tucker Davidson, the 25-year-old rookie Tucker Davidson. Not a really highly thought of prospect. He's earned his right to be a prospect over some strong years in the system. And his first 2 starts were at home in the comfortable confines of Truist Park. Now, he's on the road for the first time, facing a Phillies team that hits 253, 739 OPS versus lefties. Tucker Davidson's last start was good, and it was interesting. 5 2/3, only allowed 1 hit, no earned runs, but 5 walks in 6 Ks. Now 5-1 win at home versus the Nationals. Zach Eflin on the other side, 2-5, 4.10 ERA, 1.19 WHIP, 68 innings, 68 Ks, 8 walks, 9 home runs. In Eflin's last start, he went 4 2/3, allowed 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 jacks, 1 walk, 5 Ks. Braves hit 233, 750 OPS versus righties. The Braves bullpen is slightly improving. Slightly. They're still bad. 4.76 ERA, 1.41 whip. Phillies bullpen is getting worse as the season goes on. 4.54 ERA, 1.39 whip, have converted 14 of 26 save opportunities. Nate Dogg said, I heard Rask may not play. They may not start him. Yeah, might be Swayman. Dansby Swanson, total bases over 1.5 for Matty Ice. Sharpie says, I think the line is dropping in the Padres game because Padres haven't scored more than 4 in over a week since moving Tatis to cleanup. Stanley said, through Phil's and yesterday ruined the parlay. Won't go back to those a-holes today. Okay, so let's move over. So we know that what the baseball data is going to show us to one degree, it's going to show us that they haven't seen Tucker Davidson. That's not the big question. What did the Braves do to Eflin? 256, 850 OPS. So Swanson, as Matty Ice intimated, 10 for 23 with 6 doubles and 2 home runs. Hits them hard. Acuna, 6 for 21 with 1 double and 1 home run. They have 8 home runs in 133 at bat. So they hit them for power. I just feel like that Tucker Davidson now going out on the road, feeling good about himself, could be vulnerable here. The Phillies have moved from minus 120 to minus 127, a 7-cent move. There's also been a half. We've already seen Pinnacle is the first book, and U-Wager, to move it from 9 to 9.5. So let's see what the odds are here, or where the money is, I should say. Let's see where the money is in this spot. We have 35% of the tickets on Philadelphia and 58% of the cash. I am sold. Now, both bullpens are bad. So I could bet full game here. But I think the volatility is just increased enormously with both bullpens in play. I can't sit here and tell you that I think the Phillies bullpen is better than the Braves bullpen. They're both bad. But I can say that I think that Tucker Davidson, who's had a pretty cushy first 2 starts in MLB at home, is now going out on the road. I think he could get touched here. Stan Lynch says Eflin has not pitched since May 30th. They gave him extra rest. Sharpie says Eflin home road splits are real. Sub 2 ERA at home, plus 5 on the road, but Braves hit Eflin, so I'm off. That doesn't scare me too much because we know that Eflin got destroyed when he started out his career, and he's been better of late. Okay. So with all that said, I think that the first 5 on the Phillies is my best edge. Now, that first 5 is minus 150 in my book. So we see if there's a first 5 prop, minus a half. And there is not right now. Okay. So I expect one to become available. I'm going to be moving on the Phillies. First 5, minus a half. And if that's not available, I'll have to move to the 7. TJ got the first 5 minus a half at minus 110. I like that. Hunter Engelhardt says I only play Eflin K props. I get it. Look, there's volatility in this spot. It's dangerous. Maybe I'll put one question mark beside it to see if I have enough looks. Maybe I don't need to move on it. But it feels like Phillies are the play. Okay, let's move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Dodgers 35-25, 16-15 on the road at the Pittsburgh Pirates. 23-36, 13-17 at home. PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Bled's backing it. That helps, Bled. Thank you. I got a little nervous as soon as I wrote it down. And there's astute chaos in the house. Christopher Carr says weather's humid and hot again. I like it. Okay, so let's break this down. Tony Gonsolin, first start. What are your expectations of him? He was placed on the injured list April 4th with right shoulder inflammation. He's making a season debut. 3 starts with AAA Oklahoma City during his rehab process. 3.48 ERA. Struck out 9 over 10 and a third. There's Mr. Gogster in the house. Johnny K says Pirates. And look, my first thing that I want to do is I want to take a shot with a team that's putting a lefty on the mound against the Dodgers. But I don't know if I can do this. I love it. Richie Rich saying spin rate directly proportional to innings pitched. I call it the live arm action model. You're seeing that start me approach midway mark of the season. I love it. Okay. And TJ says, how about the home run where the dude missed first base? Yeah, I felt bad for him. That's just he handled it well, I thought. Handled it with class. You're going to be an ass clown every once in a while, and you just have to handle it with class. Everybody is an ass clown every once in a while. Tyler Anderson, 3-5, 4.67 ERA, 1.20 WHIP, 61 2/3, 59 Ks, 17 walks, 10 home runs in his last start against the Marlins. And remember, in that spot, Gas Station was on Tyler Anderson, and Gas says he's trying to bet on the worst 5 teams in the league as much as possible. Every time he sees a opportunity to do it, he thinks that he has a market advantage. And he likes Tyler Anderson. Dodgers versus lefties, 225, 703 OPS, but Pirates don't hit righties, 232, 652 OPS. Dodgers bullpen, 3.82 ERA, 1.29 WHIP, converted 19 of 34. The Pirates bullpen, 3.72 ERA, 1.22 WHIP. They're a good bullpen. They've converted 8 of 11. And Sharpie says this substance talk. Sports Illustrated put out an article on the front page about people using substances. Says the Pittsburgh pitcher is on the list, can't back him, even versus Dodgers versus left-handed pitching. That's very important. Very important. Thank you for that, Sharpie. Thank you for the kind words, North Ender, my man. Stan Lynch says Gonsolin should pitch 5 innings or 75 pitches. Okay, so let's go to baseball data. I mean, I guess Sharpie just told us that we can't trust Tyler Anderson, and the Dodgers hit him. 296, 888 OPS. The Dodgers don't hit lefties, but they hit Tyler Anderson, and it's the big bats that do it. Muncy, Turner. Turner's 15 for 31 against them. Jermel Wright, my guy, our guy, OG Lowbagger, says this is a get-right series for the Dodgers. Dodgers' first 5 in team total over. Dennis Trusty says Dodgers haven't swept the series since early April. Seems like they always give up one. This might be the one here. Okay, so I guess this ends up being a no bet, but let's see where the market is in this spot. We have 87% of the tickets on the Dodgers, 93% of the cash. We have 49% of the tickets split, but 90% of the cash on the over. Well, that is extremely interesting. This over sitting at 9. That is extremely interesting. And it's moving to the under. Very small move, 2-cent move. That tells me that this is going to go over. That tells me that Tyler Anderson is going to get touched enough that the Dodgers will get to the bullpen and put up some serious runs. That tells me that Gonsolin is probably the guy. Ixnizzle, what is happening? Thank you for dropping by, my guy. Blitz W says Justin Turner for a home run today. Has the market moved, towards the Dodgers heavy? 13 cents. So that -1 then looks like a legitimate. Wow. Initially planning on going against the Dodgers. Now thinking of sticking on them. -175 and -120. Let's very quickly put that in the -1 calculator. -170. -120, and we have a -147. That won't do. I'll have to take a -1.5. Ixnizzle, no, we're rolling. I've hit 23 of my last 26 in MLB, but it is sad. I'm growing the beard out for the Colorado Avalanche and my futures, and it doesn't look good. There is the run line calculator for anybody who needs it. Wow, maybe this is a spot for Gonsolin. Have they seen Gonsolin before? No, they've never seen Gonsolin. Huh. Sharpie says Anderson number 43 on the list of fastball spin in all the baseball. He only had 2 Ks versus Miami last week, who is top 5 K %. Gonsolin is a stud pitcher. Back him when you can. He was the truth all of last year. Huh. There's the truth. There is the truth right there. Okay. Interesting. A complete flip for me. We're going to go -1.5, and we are also going to take the over 9. Also going to take the over 9. Who knows how sharp Gonsolin's going to be? We know he's not going to go very long. The bullpen will be activated. If they're up by a few runs, it'll be the weaker spots in that bullpen. Vegas Bruce says you put too much priority with these percentages. Exactly what books are part of those? Vegas Bruce, I hear you. I have it 23 in my last 26. And, in the industry, we count Sports Insights as a gold standard. That's why it costs over $1,000 a year to get it. Vegas Bruce, this isn't for everybody. And everybody has every right to say, I don't agree with the way you're capping. But since we've started doing it, my ROI is by far better than it's ever been. So I'm not saying you're wrong, Vegas Bruce, but I'm just going to keep doing me. We move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. New York Mets 29-24, 14-19 on the road at the Baltimore Orioles, 22-38, 11-20 at home. Camden Yards, Baltimore, Maryland, 83 Fahrenheit, light rain, 5 miles per hour sideways. Taijuan Walker, 4-2, 2.17 ERA, 1.06 WHIP, 54 innings, 51 Ks, 23 walks, and 2 home runs. And this is a spot where Vegas Bruce might think I'm making a major mistake, and you're completely in the right to say that. The market move towards the Orioles scared the shit out of me. Taijuan Walker's last start, 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned runs, 1 home run, 4 walks, 2 Ks, and a 4-3 loss to the Padres. Matt Harvey, 3-6, 6.62 ERA, 1.61 WHIP, 51 2/3, 45 Ks, 17 walks, 8 home runs. It's been funny. He's got these terrible numbers, but we've seen the market move towards unders while he's been on the mound in the last couple starts. And he hasn't looked very good, but both those games have gone under. Also, Harvey's velocity is still up around 94 or 95. Nothing where he was when he was a stud pitcher, but at a decent velocity, enough for the Orioles to keep putting him out. And I know the Orioles are sort of a garbage fire of a franchise right now. And, they'll throw anybody out there. But we've heard Gas Station talk about how he does not want to fade Matt Harvey right now because the public's all over fading him and his velocity's high. And so let's go. In his last start, he did it on 3 days rest. He went 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 1 walk, 3 Ks in a 6-3 win at home versus the Twins. Mets first righties, 236, 680 OPS. Orioles first righties, 222, 667 OPS. Mets bullpen, 3.55 ERA, 1.29 WHIP, converted 14-23 save opportunities. Orioles bullpen, 4.34 ERA, 1.31 WHIP, converted 11 of 22 save opportunities. So let's start with the baseball data here. Against Taijuan Walker, he destroys this lineup. I mean, not a huge sample size of 29 at-bats, but they're 6 for 29 with a double, 207 average with a 523 OPS. Against Harvey, they hit him hard, 314 average with a 951 OPS, and that's also not a very big sample size, 11 of 35. So I was initially going to back Taijuan Walker, and I was shocked last night at the market moving towards the Baltimore Orioles. Taijuan Walker opens up at minus 148. He's now at minus 124 at Pinnacle. It just doesn't stop. Also, this total's gone from 9 to 9.5, but it just doesn't stop. I mean, it just continually. So at Pinnacle, the Orioles open up at plus 136. And for the first 15 minutes, there's a little, it moves to plus 137. But then it goes all the way down to plus 122 in 5 hours. Then creaks back up to plus 126. And then at 3 a.m, plus 135, plus 136. And then this morning, a huge move towards the Orioles, a 20-cent move at 8:10 a.m. to plus 116. It goes all the way down to plus 110. Now it's at plus 115. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. And we'll see here we have 3,228 tickets in. We have 22% of the tickets on Baltimore and 47% of the cash. Wild. North End says big mistake by the Bluebirds not signing Walker. It did upset me very, very much. And Sharpie says Walker is number 60 on the list of spin rate on the fastball. I have to stay off. I know I keep repeating myself, but K-props under for all the guys on the list. Bueller, Smiley, both on the list, had only 2 Ks last night. There's big show picks in the house. There's Steve Zhang. Steve Zhang, I could pick something. I'll pick my ball sack hanging on the bridge of your nose. And then I'll slowly drop them and then smash them into your face. That's what I pick. That's what I'd like to pick. I'd like to pick my sweaty summer balls all over your face. That's my pick. All right, let's move on. I have picked 23 winners in my last 26 MLB bets, Steve. Is that enough for you? And I want to keep winning, Steve. I would like to keep winning. And, Steve, this isn't just for fun. This isn't just play. I'm not going to say, oh, you know what? Why don't I take the over 9.5? Because, and Steve, I just made 2 bets on the last game. Man, I wish I had a pint glass of semen for you right now, Steve. Yes, Noel. Yes, the taint play is in, and we're almost there because it's the taint play and Sharpie's Dirty K prop. Okay, so no move for me in New York Mets, Baltimore Orioles, Steve. Let's move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Colorado Rockies at Miami Marlins. Rockies 24-37, 4-23 on the road. At the Marlins 26-34, 13-12 at home. Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. Again, I can't get the information on the roof. It's driving me crazy. I just always assume the Marlins roof is closed. And I hate making those assumptions when you put money on the line. 80 Fahrenheit clear, 12 miles per hour in. We have Austin Gomber on the bump, and we don't know, at least we still don't know who's on the bump for the Marlins. So no point getting too deep into it, but the Marlins hit 231, 676 OPS versus lefties. Their actual numbers against lefties are a little bit improved. They have a huge bullpen advantage in this game, but Gomber looked good in his last start, even though Gomber's had a decent season, 4.12 ERA, 1.14. I'm curious to see who the Marlins use, but we have so much to talk about, so let's just move on. Okay. We move on to the 7:10 p.m. Eastern spot. And again, I can't wait to talk. We're 2 games away from both the Dirty K prop and the taint play of the day. 7:10 p.m. Eastern, Houston Astros at Boston Red Sox. And let's go back once again to the spectacular call by the taint play of the day. An unbelievable call on the Astros yesterday. And I wish I had gone along with it. I was just so scared of Martin Perez. It's my own bullshit. With Martin Perez that the biases that we have in capping continually haunt us. They continually hurt us. It's so important. And that's why I've always told you guys that book I read, The Undoing Project by Michael Lewis. Michael Lewis, who wrote Moneyball. The Undoing Project by Michael Lewis is the best book I've read on gambling maybe in my entire life, and it's not even a gambling book. And I implore you all to get it and read it. It will help you with the vividness bias. I have a vividness bias of Martin Perez. That was a perfect spot to fade Martin Perez. The Astros had just seen him, and I couldn't do it because of my own bullshit biases. All right, 80 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 5 miles per hour in. We have Jake Odorizzi, 0-3, 7.16 ERA, 1.47 whip, 16 1/3, 17 Ks, 7 walks, 4 home runs. In Jake's last start, he went 3 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 home run, 3 walk, 2 Ks, in a 5-1 loss at home versus these very Red Sox. I wonder what Matt is going to do with this spot. Nathan Eovaldi, 7-2, 3.78 ERA, 1.19 whip, 66 2/3, 65 Ks, 14 walks, 2 home runs. In his last start, he went 6 innings, 8 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned run, 1 home run, 0 walks, 7 Ks, and a 5-2 win at the New York Yankees. Astros versus Reddies, 254, 742 OPS. Red Sox versus Reddies, 254, 761 OPS. They both hit righties. Astros bullpen is not improving. 4.32 ERA, 1.35 whip, converted 12 of 22 save opportunities. The Red Sox bullpen is improving right when I thought they were going to slip. They're a good bullpen. 3.44 ERA, 1.35 whip, 20 of 29. I was so wrong. Thank you. Okay, I hear you, Jacksonville. I will. I was so wrong about the bullpen. Okay, so Jermel Wright likes the Stros Sox over. Let me know if Matt Randall jumps in with a look here because he sure nailed that last spot. Let's go over baseball data and market moves here. Why don't we start with just where the line's at. Houston, Boston, the 9.5's already gone to 10. It certainly feels like the over is going to be in play again today. What did I say the weather was? 5 miles per hour in, but still, you know. Then we have Boston going from minus 128 to minus 136, an 8-cent move towards them. Eovaldi didn't pitch against them last out. Stan Lynch says lean Red Sox to bounce back here. Okay, let's go over to baseball data. Let's go over to baseball data here. We have against Odorizzi, 289, 895 OPS, 24 for 83. Not a ton of power. And against Eovaldi, 289, 846 OPS. Very similar numbers. Is Jake Odorizzi vulnerable here? That's the question. Is Jake Odorizzi vulnerable here? Richie Rich says market move sharp but wrong. Yeah, I mean, look, the market moves are not always going to be right by any means. Astros, Red Sox. Let's see where the money is at here in Houston, Boston. We have 2,862 tickets in. We have 73% of the tickets on the Red Sox, 86% of the cash. So the market move makes sense there. But here you go. You have 43% of the tickets on the under and 89% of the cash on the under. So some big bets come in on the under. Stan Lynch says Odorizzi 1-4, 6.26 ERA at Fenway. They just saw Odorizzi and he had a tough time with them. Do we trust Eovaldi enough? I don't know if I do. I can't sit here and say, oh, I trust Eovaldi against these guys. He's coming off a nice start against the Yankees. Yeah, trustee. That's when it does become tricky, when the market moves from 9.5 to 10, and then we see the money on the under. There's no doubt about it. Okay, I'm not going to move on this, I don't think. But it would be Red Sox first 5. What has happened there? Let's just quickly go to first 5 money line and see what's happened there, and then make a decision. First 5. Oh, it's just too. I mean, it's minus 150, so I'd have to take a minus a half, and so I can't do that. I don't think. But you do, feels like they can get to Odorizzi. Let's just quickly go over that baseball data one more time. Who hits Odorizzi? So Bogart's 5 for 10. I like seeing that. JD Martinez 5 for 14. Devers 3 for 6. And then who hits Eovaldi? Altuve 5 for 15 with a double and 2 homers. Bregman 1 for 3 with a homer. Correa 4 for 13. So I like that. I mean, the Astros are just raking here. I can't do it. Rob Free says I lost 9-leg $100 parlay by 1 game with the Avalanche loss. Oh, Rob, I'm sorry, man. So that's Beats and Rob both lost huge parlays. Sean Glass says, what about the first 500? I can't do that, Sean. Even though it's a nice high number, don't get me wrong. I fear these offenses, and I fear the Astros offense more than the Red Sox offense, and that's an easy thing to say with the way the Astros are hitting of late. But we'll just take a quick look at your first 5 total here. We can't look at the market for first 5s because it's just there's not enough quantity of bets at this time in the morning. But 5.5, it's moved 1 cent towards the under. I can't do that. I mean, I don't dislike it, but I can't do that. Okay, let's move on from there. We move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Milwaukee Brewers 34-26, 17-11 on the road at the Cincinnati Reds, 28-30. 12-15 at home. Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. 78 Fahrenheit, light rain, 5 miles per hour in. Brett Anderson. So I was talking about Martin Perez, Velasquez for the Phillies, and Anderson for whatever team picks him up in the offseason. The guy just gets passed around. He gets me. He hurts me all the time. 2-3, 4.42 ERA. And Gambler's First Glance. Here we go. We have Gambler's First Glance. It was an easy casher yesterday. for Razor Sharp picks on the Orioles, and Razor Sharp picks 8 straight winning days. Gambler's first glance is Brewers money line plus 100. Ronnie Ryland, what's happening, man? Let's get to work. Let's get to work here. Anderson, 2 and 3, 4.42 ERA, 1.53 WHIP, 36 and 2/3, 21 Ks, 12 walks, 7 home runs. In his last start, he went 4 and a third, allowed 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 home run, 1 walk, 1 K, and a 7-4 win at home versus the Diamondbacks. And that's precisely where I would think he'd be vulnerable. I know the Diamondbacks hit lefties hard. From the eye test, Brett Anderson doesn't look like he's got good stuff. He allows 8 hits, mostly of the rinky-dink variety. And he gets through it with a 7-4 win at home. Going up against Vladimir Gutierrez, he's the Cuban we've been talking about for the last month, 25-year-old, 1-1, 2.70 ERA, 1 WHIP, 10 innings, 5 hits, 6 Ks, 5 walks, 1 home run. He was at the Cardinals in his last start. So now we have 2 starts for Vladimir Gutierrez. Remember, that first start was that huge wind-aided start when he went up against Zach Davies, and it was like 15 miles per hour in at Wrigley, or 18 miles. It was just ridiculous. And it was very nice. So I thought maybe he's susceptible at St. Louis here. St. Louis Cardinals, they just don't hit righties. And as Sharpie's pointed out time and time again, they destroy lefties. Can't trust them against righties. And the Reds against Anderson are the opposite. The Reds don't hit lefties. They smash righties, don't hit lefties. 216, 666 OPS. The Brewers have the worst batting average against righties. 208, 653 OPS. Reds bullpen 4.34, Brewers bullpen 4.34, ERA 1.33 WHIP, converted 17 to 28. The Reds bullpen is terrible, 5.82 ERA, 1.46 WHIP, have converted 14 to 22 save opportunities. And I was waiting for the Reds bullpen to start improving. It is not happening. There's so many mixed things in this spot. So you have Brett Anderson, who's capable of probably controlling this offense against lefties. And then you have Vladimir Gutierrez going up against a team that doesn't hit righties. So let's see what the odds are right now in this Milwaukee spot. Here we go. The total's gone from 9.5 to 10. I find that interesting. I would not think that first 5 would have. It has. It's gone from 5 to 5.5. Interesting. And from a money line perspective, we see it open up as a pick'em and about a 6-cent move towards the Reds. The Reds are now the favorite at every book right now, except for Bodog. There's Maxwell Smart in the house. Stanley says Avisail Garcia built his team leading 12th home run yesterday, 4th in his past 9 games. Very, 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 very tricky game this is. And it's leading me to want to have nothing to do with it. What have they done against Brett Anderson? 237, 786 OPS. Winker 2 for 5 with a homer. He just hits everybody. Castellano 7 for 19. Suarez 3 for 17. Votto 4 for 18. And yet this total's gone up. Why is the total gone up? Stanley says Votto, he returned to the Reds lineup after being sidelined with broken left thumb. He went 0 for 2 with a pair of walks. Okay, so let's just see where the money is here in this spot. And we have 54% of the tickets on the Reds, 67% of the cash. The market's moved in that direction. And then we have 51% of the tickets on the under. And now, look, this is a small sample size. We only have 2,194 tickets in, so let's not get carried away. But 51% of the tickets are on the under. 97% of the cash is on the under, and it's moved up to a half run. That's confusing. But I like that under. Whoever made that big bet on the under. But I couldn't trust the bullpens here. Razor Sharp says Brewers smacking right-handers right now. Okay, no move for me here, but I would have some legitimate interest. Really interesting, Razor saying Brewers smacking righties right now. DC Brew Crew full game. That's a lot of runs for that first 5. 5.5? Okay, I don't want to go up against the market move, so I'm not going to do it. It's gone from 5 to 5.5, so I'm not going to take the under 5.5. But So I'm just leave it alone. Okay, we're going to move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Here is the game we've been wanting to talk about. Two things going on in this game. First off, taint. We also have Dirty K prop of the day. Dirty K prop. What was... Okay, there we go. I remember. Okay, 30K props. So I was just remembering a spot here that I need to talk about. Okay, here we go. So first off, taint is the first 5 under 5. And Matt Randall, somebody who beats MLB year after year, he's not scared about going up against market moves. And I respect that enormously. And I am. This first 5 with Flexen against Casey Mize has gone back to 4.5. Really? Whoa, bookmaker never moved it to 5. Did Bet Online? No. No. Did Bovada? Okay, so interesting. Okay, so it did go from over 4. Wow. I thought this was a big move towards the over. It's not. So at 9:30, bookmaker moved it the over to -20. And then at 11 a.m., it brought it back to -115. So we have the under 5 for our taint play of the day. There's Birdie in the house. Great to see you, Birdie, my man. So the taint is the first 5 under 5. TJ says Seattle, Detroit over 9. Don't like betting against the taint, but bet was already made. It's not fully a bet against taint. And Hunter Engelhardt says on my first half under plays with the Tigers. So the Dirty K prop is Mize over 5.5 Ks at +115. Says Mize has 7 in both starts versus the top 5 team in strikeout percentage. Mariners are number 4 in strikeout percentage versus right-handed pitchers. 82 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 8 miles per hour. Sideways in. Mariners are 30-32, 13-18 on the road. Tigers are 25-35, 14-15 at home. We have Chris Flexen, 5-3, 4.70 ERA, 1.42 WHIP, 53 2/3, 33 Ks, 11 walks, 6 home runs. When I was in my lowest low on Thursday, 13 days ago in baseball, I doubled up on the Texas Rangers against Flexen, and Flexen was very strong. I should not have believed in Colby Allard. It was stupid. But Flexen was lights out. He went complete. In his last start at home versus the A's, 6 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 home run, 1 walk, 3 Ks, 6-0 loss at home versus the A's. Now, we were on the A's. I faded him. I still, from the eye testing, Flexen's very hittable. And I think he succeeds because of the ballpark. And his road home splits are ludicrous. He's got an 8 ERA. I don't have it in front of me, but an over 8 ERA on the road and a 2 ERA at home. 2 ERA at home. Flexen, I can't trust him at all. Casey Mize, I want it back so badly. So I had this issue. I was like, do I move on the Tigers at -120? I was sitting here last night, -120 for the Tigers full game. I was like, it's got to be the bet. But they used their bullpen up in the game last night. They don't have Fulmer. We talked about this off the top. I can't trust it. I can't trust them. I can't trust them holding a lead. I had like this daydream nightmare of the Tigers bullpen screwing it for me. So I was like, okay, I'll wait for the first 5. Then the first 5 came out at -150. So I probably should have moved on the -120 because there's been a 15-cent move already to the Tigers. And then when I went to bet the first 5 -0.5, which we've already heard from some guys is at -110, it was not available. Tell me it's available now. Please tell me it's available now. Still not available. So I'm in a terrible spot. Let's talk about Casey Mize. Last start, he was good. We hit that. We doubled up on the under in his last start. It was up against the Bulldog Lance Lynn. He went 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 home runs. They were all solo shots, 0 walks, 6 Ks, and a 4-1 loss. I like Casey Mize a lot. I want to back him as much as possible. He's a gamer. Mariners versus righties, 209, 655 OPS. Tigers versus righties, 228, 676 OPS. JEM, that monkey's name was Spidey. JEM, Spidey. And Ron Crawford said NBC Boston just tweeted out Rask is in net. And there's Stan Lynch, 8.10 ERA and 4 starts away from home. Mariners bullpen, 4.32 ERA, 1.26 whip. And I was telling you guys that the Tigers bullpen was going to improve as the season went on, but a big part of that was Fulmer. Okay, so let's move over to baseball data. We have only Mazzara seeing flex in. He's 0 for 3 against them. Casey Mize has shut down this lineup. Not only 13 at-bats, but 1 for 13 with a homer, a jack from Tom Murphy. So let's just take a quick look at where the money is. And I presume it's all over Detroit. 58%. Again, 2,700 tickets, so not a huge sample size, but 58% of the tickets on the Tigers and 92% of the cash on the Tigers. And then we have 46% of the tickets in the total, 46% of the tickets on the under and 90% of the cash on the under. Wow. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day, which we loved so much in the past. So nice to have Ron Crawford back in action, is the New York Mets. Yes, Noel, the taint is the under. First 5 under in Mariners Tigers. First 5 under. The K prop on Mize, 5.5 at plus 115. And I'll just tell you what it is here at my book very quickly because I've got it up. The strikeouts for Mize is 5.5 at plus 120. Wild. So I don't know what to do. The only thing I could do is probably take the first 7. And maybe I do that. First 7 minus half and minus 120. Maybe I have to do that because I want the Tigers. Okay. There's MMA locker room in the house. My man Mills in the joint. All right. So there you have it. Both the Dirty K prop and the taint play of the day on the same game. Dirty K prop, Mize over 5.5 at plus 115. And the taint, first 5 under 5. Now he got the 5. You can get 4.5. And KCOH MMA says, can you trust Yankees and Cole? I can't wait to talk about that game. We're 1 game away from talking about that. Let's move on to Nationals at Tampa Bay Rays. Nationals are 24-33, 11-18 on the road at the Rays, 39-23, 16-13 at home, Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. We have Patrick Corbin going up against Shane McClanahan. This was the Hunter Engelhart spot that he was looking at very, very closely. Corbin 3-5, 6.28 ERA, 1.52 whip, 57 1/3, 45 Ks, 22 walks, 12 home runs. Wow. Runners on 531, scoring position 322. Wow. Okay. Jacksonville Zoe says, I cannot trust Cole right now with his spin rate being down. We are going to talk about that in the spin rate doctor. Producer Jose is going to be on the show. Last start for Corbin, 5 1/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 home run, 2 walk, 4 Ks, and a 5-1 loss to the Braves. We keep waiting for Corbin to look like the old pitcher. He's not doing that. Going with Shane McClanahan, 2-1, 4.11 ERA, 1.24 whip, 30 2/3, 38 Ks, 9 walks, 4 home runs. In his last start, he went 3 1/3, allowed 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 home run, 2 walk, 4 Ks, and a 4-3 loss at the Yankees. Nats versus lefties, 264, 751 OPS. They hit them hard. Rays versus lefties, just 226, 69 OPS. That's the biggest difference in this game. The Rays are a great ball club, but they're not that good at home. Sleepy Tropicana. And the biggest difference in any statistic in this game, I guess that maybe I take that back. I guess you could say the bullpen. The Rays bullpen's been absolutely lights out lately, all the way down to 3.21 ERA, 1.21 whip, converted 19 of 27 save opportunities. They're almost a full run better than the Nats bullpen, who hasn't been that bad, 4.16 ERA, 1.29 whip, converted 10 of 15 save opportunities. But Hunter, you're right. That is a huge, huge difference there, is the way the Nats hit lefties compared to the Rays. Very, 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 very interesting. This total opened up at 7.5, juice to the over. It's now juice to the under. McClanahan and the Rays are taking money, opening up at minus 146, now at minus 159, a 13-cent move. That makes sense to me, full game. But what about first 5? What about first 5? If we can take out the bullpen advantage for Tampa and only focus on a perceived advantage it's not a perceived advantage. What am I talking about? We have a clear advantage with the way these guys hit lefties. The question is, can you trust Corbin? So let's just go to Bookmaker and see if they've moved this market at all. First 5. Yeah, they moved it. Wow, interesting. They tightened it. At first, there was a huge amount of juice, which is something that Bookmaker does because they're fearful of their opening lines, as all books are. But they opened the Nats at plus 125, the Rays at minus 167. And that's way more juice than 20 cents. At 9:08 a.m., they're now plus 140 and minus 160. Thank you, Kyle. It was a great day. Hunter and Gogster said, even if Corbin gives up 3 runs, I think Nats still winning. I'm planning on Nats scoring 4 to 5 runs in the first 5. TJ says, my God, Corbin is bad on the road. Is there enough sample size for that? I'm thinking of moving on this game. Let me just quickly move over to – let's just pull up Corbin's stats right here, right now. I just feel like with this legitimate advantage – here we go. Oh, shit, we got a lot of games to go, man. Sorry, I guess when you just start winning and you just do whatever it takes to keep that going, and if that takes sitting here and beating the shit out of these games, that's what we do. Okay, here we go. Let's go to splits. Full splits on Patrick Corbin. So on the road, 7.30 ERA. Yeah, it's bad. I mean, it's not that bad than what he's done at home. He's just been bad overall. He's just been bad. Safer bet, TJ says, is Nats first 5 team total over. Yeah. Jay Mills in the house. This Tuesday, Jay Mills. We're back, baby. Every Tuesday from now on, Low Shack in the bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Okay, let's just see where the money is. I mean, it's not going to help us first 5. I'm not even going to bother looking at the first 5, but let's just look at the full game here. In this spot, we have 82% of the tickets on the Rays, 91% of the cash, full game, 33% of the tickets on the under, but 96% of the cash on the under. And we've seen the market move towards the under. Yeah, I think this is very interesting. The Nats. Okay, I think I'm moving on the Nats first 5 here. It's a big plus money spot. Let's just take a quick look at what it is here. We have the Nats first 5 at plus 140. And if I will not turn, and we don't have a first 5 spread anyways. Okay, I think that makes sense to me. I think the Nats can win this. If they were to give me first 5 plus a half, I guess they won't because the total's going down, so it'll be hugely expensive. Okay, let's move on. Nats first 5 at plus money. It just seems like a move I can make here. Yeah, Lee Federchak, nice little 3-0 day in NBA. I haven't said that enough this year. All right, we move on to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. The New York Yankees at Minnesota Twins. Yankees are 32-29, 15-13 on the road. Twinkies are 24-36, 12-18 at home. We're at Target Field, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and we come joyously to Jose's Say Hey play of the day. Coming off an easy winner with Glass now over 7.5 Ks. He got to 11. Please welcome to the show, your man and mine, Jose in the house. Jose, what's happening?
Not much, Jimmy. Doing well. Finally got a win. Hurrah. Huzzah. Glad to see Glass now was able to get the strikeouts. All of his spin rates were down, which was concerning, but he still got the strikeouts. And a lot of interesting stuff with these spin rates still happening. I watched the whole Pirates game. Didn't even realize Walker Buehler only had 2 strikeouts. All his spin rates were down too. So interesting stuff.
Very, very interesting stuff. And Garrett Cole is a big part of this story. Sitting at 6-3, 2.26 ERA, 0.87 WHIP, 75 2/3, 104 Ks, 11 walks, 6 home runs. He's looked very good. In his last start, a 9-2 loss at home versus the Rays, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 home run, 2 walks, 7 Ks. Obviously, in his head about all this, he's going up against Randy Dobnak, who's been terrible this year. And last start, 5 2/3, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 home run, 2 walks, 3 Ks, and 6-3 loss at the Orioles. Remember, that was the game up against Matt Harvey where the total went from 9 to 9.5, and everybody was all over the over and missed that bet. I wasn't, just because I was scared of the money on the under and the market move towards the over or whatever. Yankees don't hit righties, 226, 686 OPS. Twins are hitting righties, 237, 733 OPS. The Yankees have an enormous bullpen advantage. How are you getting paid in this spot?
So Eric Rosas is actually pointing out what I wanted to talk about first. Jimmy, I don't know if you saw this, but a reporter directly asked Garrett Cole, do you use this substance called Spider Tack, which is a sticky substance, pitchers are using it, blah, blah, blah. Couldn't have looked more guilty. Couldn't have looked more guilty even if he tried. Sat there, gave a and just didn't know what to say, basically, because guilty as hell. You look at all his spin rates last 3 starts, obviously they're all down. I think that's all very interesting. And honestly, I think it's in his head now mentally. Do I think Garrett Cole is going to be Randy Dobnak per se now? Do I think he's going to stink out loud and be a terrible pitcher? No. He's obviously going to figure it out. He's too good for this stuff to be bad. But I wanted to show you. Can I get a little nerdy with you, Jimmy? Am I, is that allowed? Can I bring this up? Here's this little graphy graph that our friends over at Foolish Baseball made. This is a direct correlation, spin rates versus mile per hour and hard hit rate, or strikeout rate. I apologize. So as the higher you go on spin rate, more spin, more velocity, more strikeout rate. Garrett Cole last start, his year average for his fastball spin was 2,500. Last start, his average was 24. So you can see the difference. Just a little difference in 100 RPMs on a fastball drops you from your 8 to 10% down to your 6, 7, 5%. And I think all this stuff's is very interesting. It's going to help us all out, to be honest with you. I've looked at it. I don't think I can take. I wanted to ask you this, actually. I wanted to get your opinion. I don't think I can responsibly take Twins first 5, because that's one of the things I was looking at. Do I think Garrett Cole is going to get touched up today? Yeah, I do. I think he'll give up a couple more runs again. I looked at Twins first 5 plus 150, but ultimately I've been drawn into first 5 over 4.5. Dobnak's been awful. The Yankees offense has been awful too, but they've got to bounce back eventually, right? I mean, they can't be this awful. I mean, I personally hate to see it, but. So I wanted to ask you, Jimmy, which way would you lean in this scenario? Because I'm going one of those ways, and I'm leaning towards the over 4.5 at -110.
It sounds like you'll get a nice price on the first 5 team total over on the Twins.
Okay.
That sounds like you get the nicest price, because then you can take out the weak hitting Yankees offense. Now, if you're going to get a 1.5, that might be something that you should look at. I expect that you'll get a 1.5.
I'm looking at it right now in Bovada, over 1.5, -115. So
and then what do you think? What do you have a higher expectation of? The Yankees getting to 2 runs, or both teams combined getting to 5?
You know what, Jimmy? I think this whole segment is basically me calling out Garrett Cole for being a cheater, I guess. So I'm going to take the Twins. I'll take the Twins first 5 team total over 1.5, 115. We'll run it up there, and we'll just laugh our way home as Garrett Cole continues to get in his head, look at his fingers, rub them, not know what to do, and struggle.
I think it's a wildly interesting breakdown. For the full game, we have a 10-cent move towards the Yankees, nothing major. From a totals perspective, we have the full run. It's gone up from 7.5 to 8.5. Wow. And then from a first 5 perspective, gone from 4 to 4.5. I agree with both those market moves. And then let's just quickly see what we have here with the cash. In this spot, we have 90% of the tickets and 91% of the cash on the Yankees, and only moves 10 cents. Suspicious. Then we have 58% of the tickets on the under, and a very high percentage of money on the under. But I think it was not on the board a second ago, so I think they're just calculating it now. So I'll just leave it at a very high percentage on the under. 58% tickets on the under and a high percent of the cash on the under. Very, 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 very interesting. And I think that makes sense. And I wish I got on the first 5 over 4. And I think you're in business. There you go. Our man Jose on the 1s and 2s, the producer of the show. He's on the Twins first 5 team total over 1.5 at -115. And he is studying these spin rates very closely and using it to his advantage. I love the breakdown, Jose. Thank you so much for joining us, my man.
Hey, no problem, Jimmy. By the way, Walker Buehler, Garrett Cole, I've got my eyes on you guys. I'm watching you guys, you bastards. None of the Red Sox guys, by the way, have had those spin rates. Not a big deal. Whatever. The Red Sox don't cheat is what I'm saying. That's what it's fine.
There he is. Jose, say hey, play of the day. And no move for me at this point. No move for me. We move on to 8-10, and DC says, which one do you knock down the odds of essential quality? Yeah, man, 6-5 was crazy. The exacta that we hit paid nothing. Essential quality to Hot Rod. And Hot Rod ran the fastest first half since Secretariat and was there at the end. Incredible. Okay, 8:10 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays at Chicago White Sox. We've got to get through this quick. Hurry, because we have our man TrotWAM on the show. Blue Jays at White Sox. Blue Jays 30-28, 17-15 on the road at the White Sox. 37-23, 24-10 at home. Guaranteed rate field in Chicago, Illinois. 72 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 9 miles per hour, sideways in. This was I was fully expecting to bet on the White Sox here and fade Manoah. Back Lance Lynn, the Bulldog, and I was taken aback at the baseball data. I was taken aback that these Jays smashed Lance Lynn. 321 average, 937 OPS. Marcus Semien, 8 for 19 with 3 doubles and 1 home run. He was the American League Player of the Month last the month of May. Grichuk, 2 for 7 with a homer. Guerrero, 2 for 5. These guys get to him. They get to him. But I think Manoah's going to get touched. And that just completely threw me for a loop. Let's just see where the market's gone here. First off, first 5, we have first 5. Come on, let's get this going. We have the total open at 4. It's now at 4.5. And full game here with this Toronto spot. It's at 8. It hasn't moved. But Lynn's taking some money, opening up at -141, now at -152. Hunter Engelhardt says free swing Jay Styles a bad matchup against Lynn here. I was fully expecting to back the Lance Lynn-led White Sox, and I can't do it. Lance Lynn's last start was against Mize. He looked great, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 home run, 2 walks, 6 Ks. He's got putting up Cy Young type numbers, 1.23 ERA, 0.92 WHIP. Alek Manoah, very highly thought of prospect for the Jays out of University of West Virginia. He only went 3 1/3 last start, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 home runs. 3 home runs, 3 walks, 5 Ks, 6-5 win in Buffalo versus the Marlins. The Jays smash righties, 260, 770 OPS. White Sox, I thought White Sox were worse than that against righties. Are they really 249, 730 OPS? Why do I think they only get to lefties? Those are pretty nice numbers against righties. Our guy, Triple K Marines, barn burner of the night. Baltimore, Cincinnati, Houston, Atlanta, all +4.5 at -116. Wow, those are wild, wild bets. These barn burners from our guy, Triple K. Okay, so Ishmael Reeves says White Sox all day. If they're going to get to Lance Lynn, and I think that Alek Manoah can be touched, I mean, why is the over not in play? But do I trust that they'll get Lance Lynn? He's just such a bulldog on the mound. He's spectacular this year. So it's going to be a no move for me. 2 games left, and then we move on to NBA with TrotWAM. Jose, I know TrotWAM was in the back, and we're going a little long. Can you reach out to him, make sure that he's still good? Cleveland Indians 32-26, 18-14 on the road at St. Louis Cardinals 31-30, 15-15 at home. Busch Stadium, St. Louis, Missouri, 83 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 5 miles per hour in. I've been succeeding on unders whenever Giancarlo Mejia opens and they play a bullpen day because their bullpen's been so good. 3.29 ERA, 1.29 WHIP, converted 18 of 21 save opportunities. Kyle Hintley, no bet for me. Everything has to be congruent for me to bet. And if something's out of whack, I just stay off. That's been working for me. Okay, TrotWAM. Okay, no, TrotWAM, you got a couple minutes still. Sorry, I was just making sure you're still good. Okay, sweet. Thank you. And again, Adam Wainwright at home, and he's been good. And he was good against a Reds team that smashes righties. Last out, 7 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, 1 home run, 0 walk, 4 Ks. Neither team hit righties. Indians 226, 686 OPS. Cardinals 225, 669 OPS. But of course, I didn't get to the market fast enough, and it quickly moved towards the under. We have it opening up at 8.5, now at 8. Cardinals also taking money, opening up minus 113, now sitting at minus 119. I would have interest in backing Maya in the first 5. I wish I could have got my hands on that 4.5. There still are some 4.5s out there. Wow, I thought there were no 4.5s. Let me just check this quickly. I thought it all had gone down to 4. First 5. The under 4 is at plus 105. Ah, interesting. I wonder if these Indians can get to Wainwright a little bit. He's still good at home. Do you guys trust him at home? Let's just go to the baseball data quick. Against Wainwright, 200 with a 619 OPS. I just can't. I do not want to be sitting here sweating out the Indians to get me 1 run. I just don't want to do that. Chad Cannon says, I can see the Tribe struggling versus Wayno. And then that first 5's got to be in play. But I just hate that I missed. God. Okay, I've got to see what kind of price I can get for that first 5 under 4.5. And then do I just move on the first 5 under 4 at plus 105? Maybe that's what I have to do here. Maybe I just have to let go of. But I've been so strong about not adding these plays when the market has moved and I wasn't on it. So maybe I just got to stay focused. All right, here's the last game. That's a lean right now. I'm not sure if I'm going to pull the trigger. Here's the last game on the card. Kansas City Royals at LA Angels. This was a spot that we destroyed due to the market. It was solely due to the market yesterday. Angel Stadium, Anaheim, California. 72 Fahrenheit clear, 12 miles per hour to right center. We have Brad Keller going up against Griffin Canning. Early in his career, Keller was so good at home and he struggled on the road. That's not the case anymore. And he's actually pitching better. I know his ERA is bad at 5.50 ERA, 1.71 whip, but he is pitching better. Last start, he went 5 innings, allowed 7 hits, 2 in runs, 1 home run, 0 walks, 5 Ks, and a 14-5 win at home versus the Twins. Griffin Canning just can't be trusted. 4-4, 5.82 ERA, 1.50 whip, 43 and a third, 50 Ks, 20 walks, 11 home runs. In his last start, he went 3 and a third, allowed 6 hits, 4 in runs, 1 home run, 2 walks, 5 Ks, 6-2 loss at home versus the Mariners. He's not very good. Royals versus righties, 246, 69 OPS. Angels versus righties, 251, 730 OPS. That's the problem. So they're hitting righties hard. Royals bullpen so much stronger than the Angels bullpen. Ishmael Reeves says Royals all day, and I get it. I completely get that look for you. The total's been sitting at 4.5. A 2-cent move towards the under, but still at 4.5 juice to the over. Let's go to full game. Let's go to full game here in this Kansas City Royals spot. We got NBA coming up right next. Let's go to full game. I think this Royals might be live here. Full game. 22-cent move towards the Angels. I just don't want to get in the way of that. Let's see why that is. 58% of the tickets and 63% of the cash. Then we have 64% of the tickets on the over and 45% of the cash. The Angels are just hitting the ball right now. And if I was to get in the way of it, it would have to be first 5 trusting Keller. And let's see if the baseball data will allow me to do that. 273, 591 OPS. He's been good against them. He's been good enough against them. 6 for 22 with a double. Against Griffin Canning, they're hitting 294 with a 766 OPS. They're 10 for 34. It just... Stan Lynch says Angels 23 overs at home. Yes, our guy Jay Yim in the house. Jay Yim watching with his 2 nephews, Parker and Ethan. Families that cap together, stay together. And Jay Yim, big shout out to your nephews, Parker and Ethan. Be very interested in what baseball teams they are backing today. Okay, do we back the Kansas City Royals? With the 22-cent market move towards them, I just don't want to get in the way of that. And I haven't been getting in the way of that, and it's been helping me. Let's just see what's happened in the first 5. First 5, we've seen the money line go from, again, bookmaker The opening line bookmaker is full of fear, so they have a huge amount of VIG involved. Plus 111, minus 147. So they just tighten it up as soon as they can. Plus 130, minus 150. There'd be no moves. Stan Lynch leaning towards the over. Okay, so here we go in MLB. Coming off a 4-1 day, and we're 23-3 plus 20.55 units in our last 26. So it's a very, very small card for me at this point. Now, if my book opens up the Padres first 5 at -1, I will add it to my Padres -1.5. I think this Phillies spot is something that I'm going to trust and pull the trigger on. Philadelphia Phillies first 5 -0.5. I'm going to jump in a little more, and those of you who follow me on Twitter will know exactly what I bet as soon as the show's over. So I'm very close to moving on the Phillies first 5 -0.5. I am doubling up on this Dodgers-Pirates spot, which is something I did not expect to do. I'm on the Dodgers-Pirates over 9, and I'm on the Dodgers -1.5. And then there's a whole lot of no moves for me. We have the Dirty K prop on Mize over 5.5 strikeouts, and we have the taint play of the day on Mize and Flexen first 5 under. Now, I want the Tigers first 5 -0.5, but it's just not available in my book yet. So does that mean I'll take Tigers first 7 -0.5 and -120? Yes, I'm going to move on the Tigers. I just don't want the bullpen to get in the game. Then I moved on the Nationals first 5 plus 140. I'm going for a score there with Patrick Corbin. We have Jose on the Twins team total first 5 over 1.5 at -115. And I've got to sit here with this Indians Cardinals under, but I just feel like this might be one of the spots where I can let go and take them at under 4 instead of the 4.5. Okay, so, and then I'm staying off the Royals spot. North Ender says nothing wrong with slowing down while you're hot. No need to reach. I agree. Diesel Eugene, best bet Mets first 5 today. Love fading Harvey. We talked a lot about that game. Okay, that's MLB, and we're taking so much time with it just because we're so hot right now. But let's move on to NBA. We're coming off a giant 3-0 day. We have an incredible game to talk about. We have 2 huge playoff games to talk about. We have special guests. We have our man TrotWAM for NBA, and then we have Mr. Gogster in NHL. Let's bring him on. Our guy, OG Low Bagger, winner of the big poker tournament, picked up a couple K in our first trip to Vegas, and just beloved by so many. TrotWAM in the house. Coming to us live from Long Beach, California, by way of Compton, California. TrotWAM, what's happening, man?
What's up, brother? I'm feeling good, man. Feeling good, Jimmy. Coming off of a bad day for me, though, yesterday, bro. It was 1-2. But it's all good. You know, we still up a little bit this playoffs. Starting to seem like we're seeing it pretty clear. So let's keep it rolling, man. I'm trying to get that good energy, that big win energy. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. It's been a rough year for me, but I've hit 9 of my last 10 now in NBA, and I love that you keep firing shots and keep trusting yourself and believe things will turn around. And I wish it didn't take 5 months. But okay, let's get to work here. Wham bam. We have Phoenix Suns looking very tough right now. They open up at -6. Now they're down to -5.5. So an interesting move there. From a total perspective, it opens up at 222.5. It's now at 223. There are a couple books that have hung the 223.5. Let's talk briefly about this spot. Then we'll get into pace and things of that nature. But 122-105 win in game 1 on Monday. They completely took over in the second half, dominated the second half, outscored them by 26 in the last 19 minutes. Chris Paul, 6 of 6 shooting in the fourth quarter. So Chris Paul goes for 6 of 6 in the fourth, and Nikola Jokic, who just awarded MVP, doesn't score a point, doesn't grab a board or get an assist in the fourth quarter. Now you have Michael Porter dealing with a back injury. We were wondering if Willie Barton was going to come in and help on defense, but that hamstring injury has kept him out. We'll talk more and add more numbers, but let's hear TrotWAM's take in this big game 2. Phoenix leading the series 1-0. Phoenix Suns Arena, Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah, okay, so that's a great way to look at this, bringing up the MVP. I mean, we could also look here on the other side of things as well with the Coach of the Year for Monty Williams getting snubbed by Tom Thibodeau. Both of those guys had great years there, so we don't have to really talk too much about that. But do we have motivation come from the Suns based off of him being snubbed? You know how these guys ride for Monty Williams on their after-game videos that they like to show out, tweet out. But I'll leave that there. As far as this team, Denver, like you said, Jimmy, they just fell apart in the second half as far as defensively. We're not thinking that this team is a defensive team or any of that nature, so they just need to score more. I'm looking here as far as a prop perspective. I'm looking and keying in on Monte Morris. And then as far as the total, I'm looking for the over as well. I think the over is going to be another play here. We're starting to see it get bet up to 223 and a half, if I'm not mistaken. It was at 222 for a good look there. But I think the over is probably the play. I haven't played that yet. What I did make it was Monte Morris over 4.5 assists, him going 1 for 10 in the last game. I think that was something that, you won't see here in this series a lot. You won't see him playing that bad a lot here over the last series in Portland. He averaged 15.3 points per game, 5.8 assists, 3 rebounds, shooting 41% from 3. I think that's the type of Monte Morris you're going to see here without Jamal Murray. Even if they do get Will Barton back, which I don't think they're going to get back, I don't think Will Barton's going to play. It said he's doubtful. I think he possibly comes back in Denver. And that's what it looks like Mike Malone is alluding to as well, that he's possibly going to come back in Denver there. But I need Michael Porter Jr. here for sure for this over here. I'm leaning over. Haven't locked it in yet, but I did knock in that first quarter Denver Nuggets as well. It's one of my best bets this year. As much as we've been having a terrible year, like you mentioned, Jimmy, it is. Had a bright spot with the Bucks, not the Bucks first half, but the Knicks first half and the first quarter Denver. I think the Denver Nuggets last game, they kind of gave it up. They were up by 6 points with a minute left to go in the first quarter. They allowed them to score an easy layup, and then they kept fouling twice actually. Last game, 3-point shooters. They kept fouling 3-point shooters. 2 4-point plays that you got from the Suns last game. One of those was in the fourth quarter that made me lose push the first quarter money line. I did kind of have a little bit on the +2, so I'm going to take the +2 again with the Phoenix Suns. Not the Phoenix Suns. I'm sorry. Denver Nuggets against the Phoenix Suns +2 in the first quarter, and I'm also going to take the money line +135. I like that play a lot. These guys just come in and play well. They don't play defense in the first quarter, so it could possibly go over as well. But they don't play defense, but they just knock their shots down. I think they're going to continue to do that, and I believe that they possibly cover, but I'm not going to bank on that. I'm leaning towards the over here. I think they're going to allow Suns to do whatever they want on the perimeter. It's going to be tough for the Suns to guard Jokic on the perimeter. That's what they're doing. They're having Ayton come out to the wing. It's easier for these guys to penetrate. Monte Morris should be able to get those 4.5 point assists as well, which is at +105 at BetOnline if y'all got action on there. But that's kind of where I'm looking here so far. I do lean over though, Jimmy. That's kind of when I, wanted to get picks I wanted to talk to you about.
It's a very, very dangerous bet if you're looking at what the market's doing with it right now. There's my guy. Don't ask, don't tell. What a guy. Don't ask, don't tell. Big shout out to you, my man. Okay, so let's talk pace first. Both teams very similar pace in the regular season. Nuggets bottom 6 in the league. Nuggets were 97.74. Suns were 98.0. Then we get to the playoffs, and through the playoffs, almost identical again, 90 down to 94 possessions a game, and this series is at 94 as well, flat. So during the playoffs, Nuggets 94.68, and for the Suns 94.93. So they're both slowing down at the same pace, which does make it easier to. It's not one team slowing down; it's both teams slowing down, so that helps. But then we go to where the cash is, and the cash, it's an absolute mess. And Mike Macklin was just speaking on it. Now we have 11,600 tickets, which helps a great deal. We have 33% of the tickets on the under and 91% of the cash on the under. So some big boy bets have been bet on the under. So we see 91% of the cash on the under and the market moving towards the over, which is a red flag, but it's also a spot where Razor and Sharpie look at and become very, very excited about betting the under. So that is a curveball. That is an absolute curveball. Okay, let's talk about a couple things here. Michael Porter's back.
Right.
What the hell are you going to do with that? He's fighting through it. He put up 15 points. Dude, how are you handling that? How does that get into your capping?
So that does affect me going with the over, and that's the reason why I haven't locked it in yet. So I haven't locked in the over. I'm only taking the first quarter Denver so far, and Monte Morris over 4.5. So the only things I locked in are those. If I'm going to take the over, I'm for sure. I think he's going to play those. He's going to play. The fact of the matter is he's going to play big minutes. Are you going to see more Millsap because he's out the lineup a lot of the time? You know what I'm saying? It's not getting his regular amount of minutes that he normally gets. I think that could possibly be the case with the back injury. But I think that if he's out of the lineup, like for the majority of the game, like not normally having the same amount of minutes, I think it may still help the over, though. I think it may still help us in this over. Now, he does make those threes. He was pretty hot in that game against Portland. You know, he kind of fizzed out because he kept shooting threes, of course. And then this last game, it does seem like the back is bothering him. But I think that this team in Denver, they could possibly keep going, though, man. I think they could possibly keep this momentum going as far as offensive-wise. I'm not going to take it, though. I do see guys in the chat, though. They ask me, what time do the Lakers play? You know, our guy, Prince of the City, Razor Sharp Pigs. I'm not scared of this. I'm not scared to address this. We play on 140 days from now. 140 days, we'll play. Get LeBron some rest. His old ass is falling down off the cliff. We'll leave that near nor there. But I'm thinking that the over is possibly to play. I haven't made it yet, but after hearing those stats, though, and as far as the line movement and the money, you said 91% is on the money is on the under?
91% of the cash. Before we put a bow on this, Jokic has always bounced back this year from times when he gets called out, and he certainly got called out for his play in the fourth quarter. Mikal Bridges also playing unbelievable. Devin Booker is playing with such confidence right now. You have DeAndre Ayton, 20 points and 10 boards. Did you see a bounce back? Oh, by the way, sorry, just to your Michael Porter thing, quite interesting. Points, rebounds, and assists at 27.5 is juiced to the over. So it's being bet to the over at Bet365 right now, which I find quite interesting. Jokic's points is at 29.5, and it's heavily juiced to the over, minus 140. His points, rebounds, and assists are at 47.5, which is a very high total. But the market expecting him to bounce back. Do you expect him to bounce back?
If he plays, I think he's going to bounce back. I think a lot of these guys are going to bounce back on the Denver side. That's the reason why I like them early. They always come out early. And I think Monte Morris particularly is going to bounce back. 1 for 10 is not what you're going to get from him in this game. I don't think you're going to get that. And he continues to get assists. He has 6 assists last game. So he already went over this 4.5. Pretty much as far as 8 games that they played in this playoff, he went over that 6 times out of the 8. So I think he's going to continue to play well. Michael Porter Jr. at 26.5, that's very appealing. So if I think it may be easier if you don't take the over, might as well just go with Michael Porter Jr. I think if he's in there, gets his normal amount of minutes, 26.5 might be easy, man. As far as rebounds and assists as well, right? That's rebounds and assists.
27.5, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that look a lot, actually. Now that you guys bring it up, I didn't look at that.
Well, I like your Nuggets early. I find that very interesting, and I'm going to study that harder. I cashed on both first quarters yesterday with Sixers first quarter and Clippers first quarter.
Nice.
I find that interesting. I'm going to study that a little more, but I have a lean towards the under. I certainly am not going to move on it now. I want that to keep going up, but I'm going to watch it real closely. And Stan Lynch says, Jokic won MVP. Think he would like to show he's worthy tonight. That makes a lot of sense. Wham Bam, thank you so much for joining us. We love having you on the show, breaking stuff down with us. Can you please review your action for Game 2 West semifinals, Denver Nuggets and Phoenix Suns?
Yeah, so I got 3 plays I already locked in. It's going to be the Monte Morris over 4.5 assists at plus 105. I also took the Denver Nuggets money line first quarter plus 135. And then also take the first quarter Denver Nuggets plus 2. And I believe that I'm going to possibly hit that over as well. I'm not going to do it, though, because, that 90% is probably, I might hit that, but that Michael Porter Jr. as well, that's something I'm looking into. As far as that Jokic comment as well, he's speaking about the MVP. I think Jokic don't push it today. So I don't think Jokic props are really solid today. I think he just keeps everything gelled in. That's what I'm guessing here. So, but neither here nor there. Appreciate you guys for having me. TrotWAM on Twitter.
Wham, before you go, sorry to interrupt. Before you go, could you give us a quick update on Marlon Z?
Oh yeah, my guy Marlon. I talked to him yesterday. It seemed like he's back at the house, still at the, he's not in the hospital or anything like that. It was looking bad because I literally just randomly, reached out because I haven't seen him, just like, hey, what's up, bro? You good? And, he kind of gave me with the news there that he's, some things happen in his family as well. So everything is going to be all right as far as, Marlon from here on out. Told him to drink a lot of fluids, what I'm saying? Keep that stuff going.
Send as much love and positivity.
Yeah, it's all love, bro. I appreciate everybody as well from reaching out. That's the little bro, man. Got everybody. We a family, man. I appreciate everybody as well. I even preach PLC. What I'm saying? Prince of the City with the Lakers comment. I appreciate you, bro.
Much love, Wham Bam. And Wham Bam, quickly, we got to get to NHL playoffs. Can you tell me? Just quickly hit us with your show this evening on Who Bangin'.
Yeah, I'm on Wham Talk Wednesdays. It's gonna be at 2:30 Pacific Standard Time, PM 5:30 Eastern Standard Time on Who Bangin' Sports Talk. Also on my Twitter as well, TrotWAM on Twitter. So I appreciate y'all, man. Keep it going, bro. Keep the winners coming.
Much love, Wham Bam. There he is, TrotWAM. Check him out. Who Bangin' Sports Talk tonight. Wham Talk Wednesdays. We move right into NHL playoffs. We got a giant game, Game 6 East second round. Boston Bruins, New York Islanders. Please welcome to the show Belleville's finest, Mr. Gogster in the house. Gogster, what's happening, my man? How are you?
Yeah, what's going on, Jimmy? How are we doing today, fellas?
Man, we are doing good. We're running hot. We went 8-1 yesterday. I only moved. We nailed the unders in the Avs game, but with some of our sharpest dudes on the over, I just stayed off of it.
Yeah.
And the game broke my heart. But I did move on the under 1.5 first period in the Canes game, which was casher. And I've been running so bad in NHL, so it's nice to get that casher. Mr. Gogster, we have 8 minutes for one game, so let's not panic. Let's talk about this. Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Uniondale, New York. It's going to be mayhem. It's going to be like the old barns. We don't have many of these old barns left. It's going to be absolute mayhem in there. And there's so much to talk about. But first, let's just talk about the market, and then we'll hand it over to Gogster, and then I'll jump in after he gives us his first take. He's been running so hot in NHL. We have the Islanders opening up at plus 116 and now at plus 122. So money coming in on, or the market moving towards
the big bad Bruins.
From a total standpoint, we have it opening up at 5.5 and quickly going down to 5. And it's at 5, and the over at Pinnacle is just minus 130. So it's not a lot of juice if you want to go towards the over. And very quickly, let's see where the money is. We have 5,600 tickets collected. We have 56% of the tickets on the Islanders, 49% of the cash on the Islanders, and the market's moving towards the Bruins. Suspicious.
Pretty split down the middle.
Pretty split down the middle, but the market moving towards, 56% of the tickets is decent, but it's just suspicious that's moving towards the Bruins. And then we have the total 57% of the tickets on the over and just 43% of the cash on the over. Let's go with your breakdown here. How are you planning on attacking this wildly excited Bruins Islanders game?
Well, let's get right to it here, guys. One game on the docket here. Swayman, Jim. Why aren't they going with Swayman, buddy? I'm a little questioning that. I was doing a lot of research into this guy from Alaska. I played 2 years in Maine, was lights out his second year. He's done nothing wrong in the AHL. He had one game, two guys against this Islander team. He shut him out, Jim. It was at home, but he had 25 of 25 saves. That was a regular season, but hey, you got Rask, guys, who's banged up right now. He's not looking like the same goalie. Last 2 games, he's allowed, what do we got here? 4 and 4 goals. He got pulled the last game for Swayman, and he allowed 1 goal. So the Bruins right now, guys, on the back end are hurting. Not just to mention the goalies, but also the defense. Carlo and Miller, right, Jim?
Carlo, Lazar, and Miller.
And Lazar, too. Yeah, another forward, too, that's going to be out. I got DeBrusk is going to be back. He's going to be on the third line with Coyle and Kuhlman. And you got Ritchie, Corrali, and Wagner on the fourth. So they did a little switch up there. I got to look at the Islanders here, guys. Varlamov's been lights out in this series. He's 3-1 with a .936 save percentage, a 2.32 goals against. Looking at the power plays, Jim, you see these power play numbers, penalty kill? It's insane.
It is.
45. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, I have them up here, but take it away. Take it away. Yeah.
Yeah. 45% for Boston, 60% penalty kill, 40% power play for the Islanders, 54% penalty kill. If you get these teams on the power play, guys, it's going in the back of the net. So at 5 again, I'd have to look over. You know what? I even took the over 5.5, Jim, at plus 125. I can't see anything but goals here in this one, guys. I also took the old world famous both teams to score third period, Jim. Third period, if I just look at their goals in this series, 7 goals for Boston. That's their most in the series. And the Islanders have scored 5, which is their second most next to 8 in the second. So I expect some goals late here, guys. I got that both teams to score in the third period at plus 170. I have a bunch of picks here, Jim. I don't want to go nuts, but I got 5 plays I locked in.
Let's go nuts. A couple things here. Agunam Atticus in the house. Great to see you. Thank you for joining us. Varlamov has stepped up in a huge way, and what a luxury it is for Trotsy to have these 2 goalies both stepping up. Against the Bruins, Varlamov's allowed 10 goals on 156 shots, 2.32 goals against average, 936 save percentage, faced more than 40 shots 3 times in this series. He's playing so well, and the big part here is the injuries to their defense. And we talked about when they were vulnerable this year in the regular season, their defense was beaten up, and now it's being beaten up again. And very interesting is our guy Slatsy, and Slatsy talking about how you can see that they're targeting McAvoy, because if you can get McAvoy, hurting, and because they need him for 30 minutes a game. Yeah. The problem is we know what happens when Patrice Bergeron and Brad Marchand's backs are against the wall. They come out fighting. We've also seen them lose Game 7s of Stanley Cup Finals, so it's not like, but they come out. They're just spectacular hockey players. Yeah. Bruins have scored on 21.9% of their power play chances, up to 33.3 in the playoffs, and they're 5 for 11 during the series, but just 2 for 7 over their last 3 games. Okay. I'm very scared. I'm very, very scared fading the Bruins in a big game like this, but it seems like the spot to do it in. Let's hear your action, Mr. Gogster.
So let's go over it one more time here. Islanders, guys, I really like what I'm seeing here. I'm also going to play 2 player props, guys. Palmieri and Pajot. They're on the third line with Zajac. They've been on fire. I looked into the research, too, for Pajot. He has 4 goals and 1 assist in the series back to the regular season, and that's at home. Regular season numbers for New York Islanders at home. Majority of their players, Jim, are plus minus. They're in the positive. A lot of the Bruins guys are in the negative. Everything, in my opinion, leans towards the Islanders here. They can't go back to that Game 7 mentality. I think Rask is nearly broken down. Swayman should have went. He looks like the guy to go. He's going to be the future of this team. They should have given it was just a lot to give to the guy in the first game, an elimination game, sorry. Jim, it's a lot for Swayman to take. Really good in the AHL, but I think just Cassidy just thought, you know what, I'm going to stick with Rask. It's what I know, but I really think Swayman. A couple of beat writers also said Swayman. So in that case, guys, I really like the Islanders here. I have 3 more plays on top of Palmieri and Pajot to score at least a point, Jim. That's at Pinnacle. Both are plus money. I also have the New York Islanders team total over 2.5. That's plus 115. All plus money, guys. New York Islanders money line plus 122. And race to 3 goals. The New York Islanders, that's at plus 210. So we got action.
we got action. We got action. And what a game to have action for. This barn is going to be just electric tonight. When the barn is electric like this, we saw it in the Pittsburgh Penguins series. Goals.
Exactly. And the goalies, Yari wasn't that good, but you know what? Rask is not looking any better right now. The glove hand was a problem for Yari. In this case, I just think he's looking slow right now at 173 pounds. Rask is pretty brittle. I can't be talking much, but I think he's in some trouble here. You might even see Swayman in the third period again.
Wow. What a fun breakdown.
I say 4-2, 5-2 final here in New York Islanders, guys.
Wow. I'm going to need more time to watch what the market does, but it certainly feels like let's just quickly look at team totals very, very quickly. Also, we got some great looks from our man Clint, started the Die Hard MMA podcast, who's been running so hot. He likes your Pajot look at plus 270. He's on Beauvillier at plus 210 and Bailey at plus 300. Let's move over to the team totals here. We have
I like that Krejci, Johnny.
Over 2.5 for the Islanders at plus 110. Over 3.5 at plus 300. Over 4.5 at plus 750.
3.5, I like.
You might want to. There's a possible ladder climbing situation if you were going for a giant score.
Yeah, and even taking some of these guys to score 2 goals. I looked at Pajot to score 2 goals, guys. That's 14-1. And if I think they can at least get a couple goals. That's the same with Palmieri. Take them to score 2 goals by 14-1. Could really be laughing tomorrow.
Very interesting. That over 2.5 for the Islanders. I like that because at plus 110, then they could lose 4-3 because of the heroics of Bergeron and Marchand, and I could still cash a plus money spot. I'm very interested in that over 2.5 at plus 110 for the Islanders.
You gotta like that full game over too, then, don't you, Jim? That at 5 minus 130, isn't that too friendly? That's a nice line right there, isn't it?
It's such a nice line. I just want to look a little closer and watch this market because at this point,
I imagine it's going to hit 5.5.
Well, no, I don't think it will. There's the money's on the under right now, and if it was going to hit 5.5, they would have the 5 higher juice. They're asking for bets on the over 5. They're begging for it for some reason.
Yeah, and it could hit 5.5. Then Sharps hit it again right on that under, and it's going to drop back to 5. I think public's on the over. I could be the public here and say Sharps. See what happens with them or on the under.
Oh God, it's fascinating. Sorry I didn't have more time. Just being on such a run in baseball that I'm just beating the shit out of it, and I apologize, Gogster. I love working with you. Spectacular work, my friend. Follow Mr. Gogster on Twitter. He tweets out his action at the end of each show. Gogster, can you tell us where we can find you on Twitter? But first, very quickly, Babano and C-Mac, jump over there right now. Their MLB bet show is so good. Jump over there right now. 4 o'clock, NBA Pub Hub. Starring Babano, C-Mac, Ski Profit, and Dutch Boy Fresh. And then tonight, horses, baby. Razor Sharp Picks Horses show. And we got our guy, Gas Station Sushi's in the chat. He'll be all over that as well. Mr. Gogster, you always have the invite as well. They love having you on the show. Danny A says, what's your Twitter, Gogster? Gogster, can you announce your Twitter and then let your ass out of here?
Yeah, guys, I always have the handle, too, down below. Twitter handle is ego47_, and I'll tweet out all my action. And as always, guys, get that cash and leche. Elos. Bookmakers.
Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.